Hello everyone. Most developers skip JVM architecture because it feels confusing and too theoretical. But here is the truth. Java 8 changed how the JVM works internally and many developers don't even realize this. In this video, I will explain the JVM class loader in a very simple way. No heavy theory, no complex terms, just clear visuals and easy explanations. So let's first understand how a JVM loads a Java class. So before we go deep into individual part, I want you to see the JVM as a complete system. So at the top you can see the class loader. So this is the entry point. Every .class file, every Java feature first passes through here. So now let's see the middle section, JVM memory. This is where most developer gets confused. So in JVM memory we have heap area, you can see here, and we have metaspace area, you can see here. So in Java 8, heap area does not have any change, but some classes related data which was stored in a separate space called perm generation was moved to a new area called meta space. So the classes which were present in perm generation was moved to a new area in meta space. So this change was made to fix out of memory errors that happened because perm generation has a fixed size and couldn't grow when needed, but metaspace does not have any fixed size and can grow as when needed. So at the bottom now you can see the execution engine. This is where the Java code actually runs. So when Java needs to talk with the operating system like file handling or native code, it goes through the JNI and native libraries. So don't worry about the whole architecture. We will explain each component in detail ahead. So now we will see the process of how a Java program is compiled and loaded into memory. So first we have the source file myprogram.java, which is compiled by a Java compiler into a bytecode file called myprogram.class file. So this .class file contains platform independent bytecode which is then loaded by the JVM by the class loader. Finally, the loaded class information and metadata are stored into a metaspace, a special area in JVM memory that holds this kind of data. So this process enables the JVM to manage and execute Java programs effectively. So now class loader is categorized into three types: loading, linking and initialization. Let's see each of them. So now let's see what is loading. So loading is a process where class loader reads the bytecode .class files and bring the class's definition into JVM memory. So you can see here loading is also categorized into three types: Bootstrap ClassLoader, extension or platform class loader, application class loader. So now let's see each of them in detail. So what is Bootstrap ClassLoader? So the Bootstrap ClassLoader is responsible for loading the fundamental Java classes that the JVM needs to start and run. It loads these core classes from a special file called rt.jar file which contains the essential runtime libraries. Examples of these classes include java.lang.string, java.lang.object, java.lang.thread and java.lang.arraylist and many more. So these classes are building blocks for every program. So the Bootstrap class loader also loads other internal classes from the JDK. So now let's see what is extension or platform class loader. So the extension class loader loads extra classes that adds new features to the basic platform. These extra classes are called extension classes. Usually it looks for these classes in a special folder named ext or library inside Java installation. It also loads extension classes from other folders, which helps Java to do more things than the core basic Java features. So now let's see what is application class loader. So application class loader loads the Java classes you create from your program. It looks for these classes in a place you set called the class path. This means it can load files from the folder of your computer or from any special jar file that you add to your project. It can even get the classes from the internet or the network if needed. For example, if you write a Java class called myprogram, this class loader will find and load it so your program can run. So now we have completed the loading part. Now let's move to linking part. So what is linking? Linking is the process where the JVM checks, prepares and connects the loaded classes so it is ready to run. So as you can see here, linking is categorized into three types: verifications, preparation and resolution. Let's see each of these topics in detail ahead. So in verification, the JVM checks that the class file is genuine by looking for a special signature at the start and make sure all the parts inside it are in the correct order. If anything is wrong, it rejects that file. So in verification, the first part is it checks the class file format. What does it mean? The JVM checks that the class file is genuine by looking for a special signature at the start and making sure all the parts inside it are in the correct order. If anything is wrong, it rejects the file. So next is it checks the bytecode. What does it mean? The JVM checks the bytecode to make sure the program instructions are not broken or damaged. This helps to prevent crashes or error when the program runs. So next is it checks semantics. What does it mean? The JVM also checks that the code makes sense and follow Java instruction. This means it verifies things like using variables correctly and calling methods the right way to make sure the program will work as expected. So it ensures class file is valid and safe. So now let's see what is preparation. In preparation, JVM sets up memory for all the static variable in the class. It also assigns them default values like 0 for numbers, null for objects, and false for booleans. This gets everything ready before the program starts running. So no user code execution is started yet. So the next is resolution. What does it do? It resolves symbolic references. What does it mean? When the JVM resolves a class, it finds the real location for all the names used in the code, like the class name, method names, variable name. Instead of just using their names, means symbols, it connects them to the actual place in memory. And it also loads any other classes that this class needs to work properly. This way all the parts of programs are linked together and ready to run. So till here now, no user code is executed yet. So till now we have seen here loading and linking. Now let's move to initialization. So now let's see what the initialization does. So it first executes the user code. So what does it mean? When the JVM initializes a class, it starts by running the code you wrote. Second, it assigns static final field. So it sets value for constant variables, static final fields. Third, it runs the static initializers. So what it does, it runs any special setup code called static blocks. For example, if you have a static block that prints a message, it will run during this step. This makes sure the class is ready to work properly. So user code execution begins in initialization process finally. So friends, we have completed the class loader part. In the next video, we are going to see the JVM memory part. So friends, thank you for watching the video till the end. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, share it to others and subscribe to the channel. If you have any doubts or questions, feel free to put in comment section. So whenever I get free time, I will definitely try to look into it. Happy learning with Java and see you in the next video.